Okay, what's going on? Today is Thursday, May the 23rd, 2024. And what we're going to be looking at is going to be dollar index, our futures market, um, Bitcoin, gold, and oil. And then we'll also look at three of the top stocks throughout the New York session, really focusing on how NVIDIA is going to play out today. So I'll go ahead and go through a top-down analysis here today. Um, we'll start off with dollar index here really quickly. Okay, cool. So what we've been looking at is basically what we've seen is with the dollar index, we had this weekly price come down, come into this candle, take this internal liquidity out, and then start to show us some bullish signals, right? Now, when you look at that daily and you look at Monday, we had Monday was bullish above 104.50, Tuesday was bullish above 104.50, Wednesday very bullish above 104.50. So when we expanded up super fast, okay, my bad. Yeah, when we expanded up super fast and we couldn't break past that 105 level, um, when we couldn't break past that 105 level, my main thing is that if we weren't going to go and close above that, then we weren't very strong, right? Because that weekly we were making lower lows, lower highs, lower low. So if we were to break today 104.50 on the 4 hour and close below this open on daily, I would think that we might start making our way down to the 104, 104 whole level, and then the 104, like 103.50 somewhere in this area here, playing into this weekly down candles open. So I really want to see how today is going to close and how the New York market is going to be. But I'm anticipating that we're going to get a little bit more push down here, which entail with, for anything like GBP, USD, or Euro USD, you would want to start seeing more upside, right? Because if this is falling here, assets like Euro USD, you should be seeing more upside on those assets. So kind of anticipating that we might come down. We may even come all the way, and reject and just really sink here. Who knows? We'll be watching that today. And then when it comes to our futures market, to me, we are very extended and overbought, right? Weeklies, all, pretty much at all-time highs except Dow, right? Dow is the only one that hasn't really stretched up yet. So we're still anticipating that. And then when you jump into a daily time frame, we have definitely extended and gapped on NQ and somewhat on ES on smaller time frames, and then we're still inside of this range here with the highs in the market still open. So to me today, I would love to see some sell off, depending on how fast the validity of the candles and whatnot is. But we are at all time highs, and buying at all time highs and thinking you're going to hold throughout the whole day is kind of, to me, is unrealistic, depending on where you actually got in. But looking at the 4 hour for direction, we were at this 19,000 whole level when it comes to NQ. So I like to play above or below, and it's kind of already showing rejection going into New York with about 8 minutes left. So 1 hour time frames all across the board. A little bit confusing, I would say, with divergence here with YM, because YM has that previous day high target, and we still haven't swept those highs of all time. And then with with NQ and ES, to me, I'm just looking at that previous day low to our current high. And if I can get my signal, during New York inside of somewhere in here, then I'd like to take my, the price down to in here where I could partial out some. And then I love to partial out some at daily open. And then to fill this gap would be pretty good, I would think, of the swing of the day if we end up getting that. So that's kind of where my mindset is going into New York from a higher time frame perspective. So we're about 5 minutes out before we get into it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. And when you're looking at all of them across the board, they all are, especially these two together, NQ and ES, having this type of engulfing candle makes me think that possibly when New York opens, you could find something that comes right back up into that 1 hour candle and then takes you down. So your stop loss is already set, 53.68 and a quarter. And you'd want your entry to be, a 5 point risk so you can count down from 68, or use the open of this candle and make it easier. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm going to do, and especially on NQ, because I'm not going to probably take this ES trade. I'm going to probably look to do this on smaller time frames, right? So this is the open. If it closes here, then it comes back 19,023. So if I can get back in somewhere, about 50% of that candle or even there, would be pretty nice, but 50% of the candle would be even better to be able to put that risk at the 23 level. So we'll see what we get. I'm going to move you guys to the snipe window in just a second. Now, when it comes to gold, oil, and Bitcoin, obviously we've been looking at gold to sell off from all-time highs, and we broke through that 2400 level. We've broken lower low on the daily, and we're starting to bounce off of this 2350 area that we kind of identified as a possible area where price could have a bounce. Now, if price fails, and closes another day bearish and then tomorrow bearish, we could possibly be looking at the 2340 lows here, 2332s, whatever those exact lows are, but just right under this down candle, but then a slip into that inefficiency here. And then this is the first day that we've kind of had some upside, I would say, on oil. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to hold this 77 level and can push back up into the 81s, or if they're going to, kind of hold this daily level right here, like so, like this, right? And just kind of hold it in there and then never let it come back above and go take some more liquidity over here. So that's kind of what I'm just kind of watching to see what's going to happen. And then obviously on Bitcoin, just keeping it up at all times. There was a great opportunity, obviously, at that 60,000 level when price came up and closed, came back down, pulled right into the down candle. Ever since then, price is about 15% in profit. And then let's just say if you take the high of the market, it's a 20% return. So not bad at all. And so that's pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shift over to the snipe window and make sure I'm logged in. They are dropping really fast going into the open, which is, a little bit, so we're just going to be patient today and look for a solid setup, because even though we may want those shorts to work out, that doesn't always mean that's what we're going to get for the market for the day. Okay. So we are locked in and ready. So I'm super excited for today. Make sure you went through your trader's constitution. Set your mental framework up for the day. Just some quick tips that I've been focusing on. Know what your predetermined risk is going to be, and make sure that you're risking when you're gaining 3 times that number. So like for me, for example, it's usually $400 to $600. 4 times 3 is 12. So around 12 to 4 times 4 is 16. So around 12 to $1,500, that's a pretty good day for me. And if I can close 2 to 3 of those a week, that's pretty phenomenal. So let's get our minds right, make sure everything's set. We have everything set up and ready to go. So let's get it. See you guys on the other side. Trade safe. Now, just in case I do need a precise entry off of this 1 hour open, I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and mark that area just so I know, because then when New York Open opens, I'll have a better idea of what I'm trying to do. But if it rallies back up, I know my stop loss. I know where my entry would want to be. A 20-point risk is getting in from that open, right? Because 1903 would be the entry. So 20 points up would be the 23. So that's really fire. And that's the type of probability setups that I'm looking for. I'm looking for, max a 20-point risk. 10-point risk is phenomenal. I can probably size a little bit better on that type of trade. So yeah, let's get it. Mm-hmm. They are just sinking off. YM sinking back to daily open really nicely. So we'll be patient here. See what we get. Wow, NVIDIA jumped right from the open. Super gap up. Wow. That's a super gap, guys. I'm watching those stock prices right now. That's a crazy gap. Okay, so New York Open here. So watching this price, be patient here today. So like I said, that was an extreme gap on Nvidia. Let me move that here actually. Extreme gap to the upside. So first minute, so okay, so nothing really here for me. It's just they're running off, right? So that's fine. Nothing that I'm feeling like I missed out on or anything like that. Because like I said, once they all three take internal, possibly, there's going to be a chance to continue up with that Nvidia price, I believe. I mean, they all gapped up. Microsoft gapped up. The only one that's showing weakness is Apple. So really focused in here. So good sell-off price there. So really nice push here. Really nothing that I see other than just a really big sell-off here. Internal liquidity grabbed on YM, ES, and we're coming in on NQ here. So I will be, after this liquidity grab, I will be focused, or even just around here, I'll be focused because we haven't really broken any strides to the downside. So get locked in here. ES has broken that 5350 level and that London low. So we're still hesitating here. The other two have definitely sunken off. And then I'm just checking that Nvidia price. Nvidia is skyrocketing, $1,000, 1,030, and I mean it was below 950 when we started, so that's just insane gains over on Nvidia. Now you have YM breaking those lows right now, like the low of the market for them, the current market. So very interesting price here. You have ES screaming for that daily and market open. So I think 53.25 is going to be a really good area just for that gap fill. So I'm personally going to be looking for that gap fill probably today and on NQ and price to go below 18,860 daily open here. And I'm not going to force myself into a short or anything. Like if price would have done what it did, right? There's that candle that we're right here, that white candle, and then price goes below it. If it would have came back and did something like that, I would have taken it. But as you can see right here, you get nothing. You just get, open, next candle, open. There's nothing that like goes back to give you like a price to play. Terrible drawing, sorry, but you guys get what I'm saying. So we failed to break these lows yet, but on the other two they have. So I don't really see this as high probable, right? As I would waiting for price to go below daily open. So it's being focused here. And then taking a look at Nvidia, $1,000, 1,030 price. Wow. And skyrocketing. So let me look at that daily here. all-time highs. I mean, it just destroyed the highs. So we'll see how that ends up printing out for today. And then NQ, or excuse me, YM is breaking those lows. So those 4 hours look deathly, when it comes down to it, but still no real position for me personally, based on the way that I look at the markets. So we'll see. They may hold the liquidity here, on this level. I would like it a little bit lower, but they give me something that I can attempt. It'd be nice, but this is a huge 5-minute down candle, so it would be difficult to really frame something right now. And then you have YM just screaming to the lows. I'm watching 1 hours here on my side. Really quick, just a little dollar index update. We are seeing weakness there. So with that daily getting ready to possibly engulf that 104.60 level, and that weekly could get weak, I would like to see these prices fall on futures and then give us a chance to buy them back up. Especially if Nvidia keeps going up. It's at $1,000, 1,040 right now per share, which is fire. Push. Okay, so ES still showing 15-minute weakness and it has already broken Asian liquidity, so there's no reason for me to honestly, I don't want to entertain this type of setup right now. I'm gonna wait. And I'm really focused on this gap being filled today. Now, will they do it? They don't have to. I'm not saying that by any means. But I'm just kind of focused on if they can get to that area based on how ES looks. But they could find their way up here and hold those lows. They're very manipulative here. Mm. We have news, I believe, at 45. Let me check and see really quick. 8:45, flash services PMI. So yeah, we do have a little bit of news. Like I said, I'm gonna wait this out. Looking at all three, they're very bearish for that first 5 minutes. So Nvidia 1,038 per share or 1,040 per share right now. So price is just, I mean, that's almost up 100 points. And we're still holding in this area right here. We're not breaking the structure here for some reason. So I'm just kind of being patient and seeing. I would love to see them kind of topple over this now because it seems like a lot of liquidity building just like right here, like this. Looks like stop loss is probably building at the wrong spot of the market, of the part of the swing. So my eyes are just kind of glued to going below daily open right now until I was to see maybe like a really good 5-minute sign. So this 5-minute close, getting ready to load. Not really too much strength between 8:35 and 8:40, and then we only have one more 5-minute before this 15-minute close. And technically, I would think that since the other two have already done this, that they're going to reach for 18.9. Okay, but we'll be patient here. Let's stay focused. Let's stay locked in. Nvidia 1037. Dollar index 104.68. So we'll see how that's going to close for the day, like I said. Okay, ES falling dramatically right now into under daily open. So okay, so that's perfect. We're getting down to those levels. We're already seeing that same price action on ES and YM. So this is good, and then Nvidia is at 1035. So, we've had a huge up gap on that price, and let's see if price maybe falls back to $1,000 a share with all this sell off here. Now that we've taken internal liquidity here, my eyes are a little bit more attracted to what's going to happen, right? Because I'm a better buyer than seller, and so this just feels like an unfair buy if I was buying this. So I'd be interested to see how the price plays out today. Okay, so prices are looking really good. We're just making more bearish pushes. No signs of strength on the 5. ES is pushing close to that daily open, 53.39. When you look at a bigger picture, like a 4-hour, 1 hour, we're coming into a beautiful spot for both of those assets. So we'll continue to watch. Nvidia is kind of falling off a little bit now. So like I said, I'm going to continue to watch this down to like daily open and gap fill 20 level, 18,820s. I really like that type of level. And we'll see if we can get that 5-minute confirmation before we enter today. Looking for like a one-shot kill type situation. And because of how this New York liquidity was engineered, I would think that we're going to be able to, suffocate those individuals very quickly. So I like 5-minute closes as well. So if there is an opportunity in this area, I personally want to go ahead and start kind of framing up the 18,911 area. Now it is above daily open, so I'm just trying to see possibly is there going to be something I can frame up and manage very well, right? Always want to know that stop loss 18,911 and 2/4. All right, 2 2/4, and then take profit is going to be let's say 1950, just for all-time high type situation. So I'm just framing it up. That doesn't mean I'm going to take the trade or anything. I'm just looking at this area and how this 5 minutes is going to close. Okay. And so, we've taken that internal liquidity of the day on all three, and we'll see. Nvidia 1037, so still in that 1040, still about 100 points up on the day. So it's 5-minute close, 15-minute close. It's all going to be together. So under the range of the day, or the internal range, because the range of the day is super low, like 18,700, something like that. But that 5-minute with 10 seconds left is just lower open, lower close. There's really nothing, no kind of signal, no kind of fear of missing out move or anything. So it's kind of being patient there. So nothing, bam. And that's why you don't take those trades. Good. So we're just watching. So price is capitulating down to the whole level. So this will be interesting to see. So we really want to be focused here because this when they push down fast, that's when they're trying to do 18,897. They might be making that quick. 18,897. 75. Okay, take profits are going to be 1950s right now. We're going to be looking at this area here. So way too many for here. So that's like a 20-point risk, which I don't personally want to do that on this type of setup. So now we are at daily open on ES. High of day is 53.68. So that's like what? 40, 50, like 30 points to the highs. So 5-minute open, 5-minute close, gap, 5-minute open, you know what I mean? So I don't want to get caught in that for sure. At all. So just kind of being patient, keeping it set up though, just in case the price action changes. And then what time is it? 8:45. Okay, so first 15-minute close really bearish on all three. Nvidia 1039 right now, so still floating in profits on that one. Now, this price action is lower low, lower high, low, and then whole level bounce. To me, this is just I would need to see more personally. I'd rather have a no trade in no situation. So, and plus we're not below daily open yet, so it's like the best buys usually are gonna come from that buy below daily, which would make the 4-hour look a lot better for the location of the trade. Now, ES's 4-hour location right now looks fire. You know, if it can slip down to 53.25 or 53.29 market open, then it can look a lot better. Okay. Now, this trade, based on this 5-minute open, 5-minute close already, is invalid right now, right? So we're just going to keep watching here. And then we want to know where 50% of that gap is. So it's about 53, 33, 34, somewhere in that area. So no signs of strength, and I don't just go with the market and just sell off. I don't do that. YM is on a tear to the downside. Those dailies look disgusting on YM. Perfect distribution from those levels. So we're just kind of seeing what we're gonna get here. Nvidia's kind of falling off a little bit. Just being patient still. No 5-minute strength yet. ES falling below daily open now, kind of attacking that market open, which is nice. So I do like how the whole level is, but you see how the price is closing below. Like it's it opened, closed, and then opened below that price. So unless it transitions right here, there's really nothing. So just being patient here. I think we're going to slip to that daily open gap. And once we do that, I could anticipate capitulation and our signal potential. I can even see it here, but like I would love the probabilities go up dramatically if we go below the daily open and probably go to whole level 18.8 or 18.820s. Nvidia 1040 right now, so it's still hovering in the upside area. Okay, so that type of reaction I want to pay attention to at the whole level, okay? Because stop loss would be 818,890. 50. All right. Take profit is going to be the first, well, it's going to be 1950, but we would have it broken into two pieces. So now that's way too much right there. So I need to be able to see that 5 minute, and there's nothing on the 5 minute right now, right? It's just pushing down, lower open, lower close. So that's invalid. So we'll just continue to wait. Now ES is pushing below. It's it's going into market open 53.29, and then 53.25 is a hot level for us. So if these just fall off a cliff, I would like, and I don't get my signal until they sweep the very low, then I'm definitely going to play that position 100%. But I think we're going to get a bounce somewhere in here. And if you look at ES on the 1 hour right now at this exact time, 8:50, and you see how it's pushing down perfectly, it looks really good to play that 53.25 level. Wow, and they're pushing fast, so you want to take note of that. Okay. So this was, what was this? 40 to 45. Five-minute price moving bearish. Moving fast. So 8:50 to 8:55, we're pushing down to the levels we like, and we're really right in the level on NQ, especially on that 1 hour. And check that 4 hour price. Yeah, that 1 hour, if that was to rebound in that area, would be really nice. NVIDIA has dropped about $10 a share, almost actually 15, 20. It's kind of fallen fast. Okay, so definitely want to start looking here at daily open. So they're pushing, they're pushing, they're pushing. Stay focused here. Now this is the level where they like to respond, right? Daily open. So we want to really be watching that 5-minute close here. I want that gap to get filled, I will say, but they can respond right here at daily open, knowing that lots of people want that gap fill. So if we see a response off the open, then I'll start framing up some risk. But right now, I'm just not seeing that. So I've got about 1 minute before this 5-minute close. I'm going to be framing up just in case here. I like this area a lot. Okay, so stop loss would be where the current low is. Not really any response yet that would really say I'd want to take it. I'm just kind of looking at the area. But I just want to see how this 5 minutes is going to close. So still nothing yet, still invalid, just kind of waiting. Let's see. Okay, so we are here at daily open, 5-minute close in about 18 seconds. So you can anticipate a response in this area. So like I was saying, this is the only time I move this. So stop loss would be wherever that low is going to be. 18,848, 18,848, and what, 2 quarters. Okay, so now we have that. We have our take profit set at 1950. let's just say, and we'll get out there. But now we don't see any signs, right? That 855, so 5 minute from basically 50 to 55 was bear. Okay, so watching this area closely here, I already have the wrist set. I would need to see a little something and then a pullback at this area for me to want to enter. We are at the right area on the yes, 53.25 inside the 1 hour, 50% of the last down candle at this exact moment. So we could anticipate something here. Now we still have the gap to be filled, so I want to see some real price action here that would make me want to really, enter this type of trade. So still waiting on that gap to be filled, right? I don't want to like not understand that and then still watching small time price action here. But no reaction as of right now that would make me want to start actually, getting in on the trade. Nvidia has dropped from 1050s, like 1040s, down to 1020s. So I mean that's pretty big drop. Okay, so this is invalid. These lows have been taken. So cool. I think we're gonna fill this gap. Come into this 20 level will be interesting, right? This 25 level, and see kind of how we trade in that area. And then ES, I mean, they could rip those lows of the day. All that price from yesterday was pretty, crazy. So I can kind of reset this. I can kind of see it. So the market isn't gonna, take off without me most likely if it's the move that I'm looking for. So I like this area, like I was saying, at daily open, stop loss, 838 flat. Take profits, like we said, let's just say 960. Because we're gonna break the in pieces. Okay, so I just really want to see how this price action develops in here. All right, and on this 5 minute last down candles open and below daily. Because if it can go back above and touch, then I would definitely like to frame something. And the way it's printing right here is cool, but I really like to play my 5 minute locations. Now ES off that 53.25 quarter is pretty nice, and I'm sure a lot of people are short from New York, um, just by pressing the button. So they're thinking it's going to go the whole way, and it could go the whole way. And I think that point of interest is going to be the key here. And then we have that 4 hour close at 9 for futures, and we also have the 1 hour close coming up. So this would be a good transitional time period type of situation. But right now, those 4 hours, I think we could get on the 4 hour for NQ. I would like to see us get down into the 820s because that would be in alignment with that open. That open is around like 820s. So I'm really looking for something like that. So we'll keep watching here. I do like ES though, where it's at. But those two wicks under 5310 could get bodied. So we'll see if price can develop here. Okay. So 1 hour's all closed lower low. A good 4-hour candles close bearish, so we'll see what we get here. This is what I like to see right here. If price starts to make its way back up from this under daily open here, it'd be really nice. ES is in a really good spot, so. Okay, so that's skyrocketing from that level. That's perfect. That's what I want to see. We did tap into the gap a little bit. So now if we can get some framework, right, off of this level and that low is, and we have our low set, anything back below daily open inside this candle, like 54s would be really nice. Now if they just run off, they run off. You know, I'm not gonna take it. I want to take it on a pullback. I like ES where it's at. Looks really good. But I would like for my location of my trade to be back below daily open here. So it's fine. You know, they're taking off. ES looks the best, I would say, from the structural geometry standpoint of it all. Obviously, we're not going to risk that much. So we would need price to pull back to 18,860s. Mm-mm. Okay. What's the open of this? 56. So 60 to 56, somewhere in that area would be nice. So if I'm going to take a trade, it's going to be in the 5-minute open, stop loss at the low, in alignment with that 1-minute last down candle. If this doesn't work, it's fine. The risk on that trade is not very bad at all. The likelihood if it could bounce from this area under daily open and go up to 18.9 is pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. NVIDIA 1030 right now, so you can kind of refresh this to kind of get an idea. I like the location. I like the 5-minute location. And if we can, you know, from the tennis ball drop, basically get back to 18.9. If we can get back to 18.9, I can protect the top half of the position. If so, we'll see. If not, I think we might go a little bit lower, like 18.8. We'll see. Prices are kind of pushing lower here. Oops. Sorry. So like I said, they could slip a little bit lower into the 18,820s, which is fine. But I like the position being under daily open. So how this 5-minute closes will be key. If it can close with some strength above 18,870 and that 1 minute mitigates out below daily open, that's going to be fire. And then our first actual target, if this can actually rally, we don't really want these to do this. So I'm going to end up putting one sell limit here. And if we start breaking higher for the day, we'll see. 30 seconds before this 5-minute close. So would love to see it close above daily open. That'd be really nice. ES still 53.25, NVIDIA 1030 per share. So I think this, if this plays out, this would be one of the better entries of the week. Good 5 minute close there for 9:05 from 9 to 9:05. So this could be a good transition. Okay, so really good price out of that mitigation. So I really like it right now. As of right now, now if we can push up above 18,910s, that'd be great. So I'd like to see these 5 minutes continue to open, higher close, higher open, higher close. And a good 15-minute close here above or close to 18.9 would be great if this is gonna attack back up into the 18.950s. We'll see how price goes. I'm just looking for price to extend where I can protect half of this position. So if it can extend even above here, 18, 9, 11, 9, 10s, like basically back above this last this whole level, then I could definitely see price possibly getting up there. But we're just gonna have to see a little bit more on that 5 minute before because they may like to go a little bit lower with the price first, which they do a lot of the time. So we'll just be patient and see. Taking a look at dollar really quickly while I have a chance to. Showing some strength, so that could push us lower here first before going higher. So 5 minute prices are looking so great right there. I mean, they're not really respecting daily, so they could eventually push this down to 18,820s because they're kind of toppling over right now. So just gotta be patient here and see. Mm-mm. Like I said, if we can just get up to 18.9, that would be a really good level to protect and pay. Break of 18,910 would be fire before going lower. Okay, nice. We're getting good price action here. So really, really good price. Um, and I like it. This is what I was, waiting for a little bit more of something like this. Now, would like to see the price push, like I said, above the whole level with good strength. I'd like to see this 15-minute close strong. That way we could kind of sit back and just manage and watch the position going into 10. Look at this one. These are good 1 hour areas possibly. So even if you go from where New York, they just ISO was pretty much unfair how they just opened up to New York and drop it. Even if we can get back into this inefficiency 18,963, we have a beautiful day on our hands. Really nice price here. So we're looking pretty good here for what we're trying to do. Really nice profit for today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rearranging here a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to move this down. I want the high of day to be one of our first breaks. All right. So like this, modify order, one sell limit there, like this. And then basically what I want to do is continue to manage and watch price. Okay. So from 9:05 to this time, we're really running up into this last up candle. So this is like our reference point on our 5 minute placing here. So I want to see what's going to happen right there midpoint, if anything. Now the other thing is to reduce my risk on the trade. What I can do is I can add a sell. I can move that sell stop to daily open, but I want to do it as it goes higher. I don't want to do it yet personally. So let's see where we're at for today. Okay, cool. So the strength is looking really good. So what I'll do is I'll just protect myself with this, with one of the contracts. So I'm basically protecting one contract, and then I'm going to put a sell stop at the very bottom of the market to protect the whole trade. All right, because I don't want it to just crush me down to the downside either. Okay, so now I'm protected in a special way to where if price can run up for me, great. And if it comes back and slips, then I'll be in one contract. And if it slips the actual low of the market, then I'm protected. But if we are to continue to rally, then I'm in a good spot as well. Okay. So nice rejection on that 53.25, 1 hour, 50% on ES. So that looks really good and below market open. So let's just see if we can continue to get this rally here to take away some of this price action to the downside. Really good trade. I think the management's probably one of the best today. Entry's probably one of the best that I've had in location. And then the management adds of that trade. You can have better management when you have your entries in alignment. So now I'm not saying it's not going to go down again. I'm just saying like it works out better when you have that 5 minute alignment. So just looking for price to this 5 minute higher open, higher close, looking for us to close this 5 minute and break through the whole level. Okay. So like this whole level here is our key level right now. All right. So I'm gonna mark it like this because this level is our key level of what's going on here, 18.9. Hopefully that'll change the colors here in a second. Really nice price here, pushing pretty quickly here, which is really good for us here. Now let's see if they can keep pushing. That was a good 15-minute close with strength. So you could anticipate some, fill of inefficiencies, right? But what you'd want to see is if this price is going to continue up for us, is that it would go right now. It's not going to go too much farther than, this previous resistance support little area here. You would want to see, like I said, this 5 minute just start suffocating the price on this little trap candle. personally. And then Nvidia 1038, so it's still pretty bullish over there from where it started at 950s. And so that kind of just shows me if that's going to continue up, that any pullbacks to buy this today was more on the ideal side for me. Which is, I know it's a little crazy, but dollar index not really giving me enough information to work off of. 1 hour looks pretty good here, so we're skyrocketing up pretty quickly here. So, we're definitely at about a $2,000 profit on the day, which is pretty fire. So I've got it protected. I'm just letting it go. Okay, so we're pushing really nice here. Really nice here. So what I'm gonna do, possibly if we can get another 5 minute expansion closer to this open, I'll probably trail some risk and move my other risk into break even. Just to secure something on the day because it's a long day still ahead of us. So we'll see if they fail the levels here, what they do. Me personally, like I said, I'm gonna move it a little bit in the profit here. Just because, like I said, I want to make sure and secure a little something. So I'll leave it like right in that area. So I'm protected here. ES not really showing me that type of strength off that 15 right now. So I would love to see these prices go a little bit higher here sooner. Okay. So just be patient here. So see how this 5 minute closes right here. If it can close above this whole level, that's going to be a good sign. So that price isn't really showing me the same like spot like signals that I was wanting. I mean, it's looking good, but unless we can push up on this 5 minute, then it may be short lived. But mm-mm. Okay, so like I said, I did move that up into profit a little bit. Mm, okay, so let's see how this builds. If it can build up fairly quickly and this 5 minute can start attacking 18,950, that'll be better. And if we break that 1 minute structure, I'll probably trail the risk up to the 1880s, the bottom of that 5 minute wick, if it becomes a bottom. And then I'll just kind of walk away. But if we can break 18,950, then I'll move my bottom sell stop to break even and start trailing my top one. So that 5 minute didn't really close with strength or anything. So we'll see how it opens here. think to me it just depends on how these 5 minutes close, but it looks like we're kind of accumulating, but it's gonna determine how we close this 15 and fives here. So it knocked me down to one contract, which is fine with a small profit for the day so far. So if it continues to rally down, then it does. But if I want to add back into the order, like if I get a reaction here that I like before going lower, I could add into that order potentially. But right now, I'm just kind of sitting here, you know, watching the rest of the position. Mhm. So this could, to me, like I said, if they're just going to pull it back right here, then this would be kind of the area that you would anticipate that to happen on a 15-5. That scares pretty much the shit out of people. So I would love to see them, continue this rally right here. We'll watch how this 5 minute closes at daily open because another key thing is we're still above, right? We're still above that daily open. So as we go below it, that will be kind of like detrimental to possible price falling down to the 18,820s. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So we're still here anticipating a possible mitigation 15-5-1 with our stop loss at the low. So stay with one shot here. And if price can rally up from here, right, 18,865 to 965, um, we could and take the high of the market, that would be fire. So you guys kind of seeing how I manage the trades in these situations, right? I don't want to just let them take both the contracts from me like that. So that one closing with about 20 points of profit times $20, about 400 or 500 bucks profit closed, and then I'm still in this trade, pretty calm. Right, and Nvidia 1036 right now, so it's still doing pretty good. And then I think that ES is still rejecting nicely off of the 5325 level. So we'll see how they present that price going forward. 5 minute close, I'd like to see it closing above daily open. That'd give me pretty good signals that they possibly want to run it higher. And yes, I could be two contracts deep, but the market decided they want to take at least one and profit, which is fine. YM just kind of making that tear to the downside still. And then Nvidia still at 1036 a share. So I think we have a good chance to go back and take those New York traders out if we can just skyrocket fairly quickly. Because you want to see them start eating the price of London Open fast if they're going to do it. Because they've already respected the 18,900 level so strong that they could just kind of topple and push over to the 18,800s or 18,820s. But Mhm. So just waiting to see what they're gonna do at this level and watching how the price develops, especially on a 5 minute here. If 5 minutes starts to go below daily, then it's not going to be as great. They could definitely attack the lows. We can make our way up to 18.9 really fast, then I think we're gonna reach up to 18.950 fairly quickly. Really good price right there off that 15.5. So being patient really pays, right? Now if we can break 18.900, we're looking really good. We're already in a profit for the day. So just focus on points of interest and whole levels being broken at this point. And like I said, there was just too many people that pressed the sell button at New York Open and probably at the break of support. So they're probably trying to sell like 18.935s, 18.940s, right? Not understanding that they're in the imbalance. And that's the people that I'm really wanting to see get blasted because their stop is probably inside of internal liquidity here. Um, because they're playing what they see, right? So I'm pretty grateful. Yes, I'm salty that it knocked one of the contracts off, but this is a game of risk, not profits. Profits come from managing risk. So, getting that push up, taking high of day, or even getting back to New York Open and trailing this risk is the goal the rest of the day. Now, YM is tanking lower, it's falling out right now as we speak on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour, right? So it looks like it's reaching for the lows, which is kind of crazy for where we're at here. So maybe we'll get a push up first. Maybe we're going to get a failure of this level. But me personally, like I said, I'm looking for price to rally up to 18.950s or at least back to New York Open possibly, to where I can factor, can pull some profits from this move from the swing lows. But when you look at this move for the day, it doesn't look like it's a bad move if they can start closing on 5 minute above 18.900. So we shall see. Now, if we break this 5 minute high with one contract left, I'll move my risk to my break even. So I'll move my risk to like 18,856, basically. 1 point in profit. So price isn't really holding that level as I can see. And ES is starting to fail over too. So, um, pretty much, I mean, if they were to slip price and fail this 18,900 level, you know, we would see. But one thing I will say about prices possibly going up is Nvidia is going up, right? And this Nvidia is catching the bid right now, 1042. And that hour opened, it opened bullish and closed bullish, and then now that hour for 9 is doing the same. So I think we might end up seeing prices just being patient. We might see prices back up. So I see the market in four phases. I kind of want to just explain that. I see usually accumulation. All right, so prices accumulating in an area, kind of like we are seeing here, and then from an accumulation, I usually see price start to like it'll come in here and do like something, right? Do that, 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 to then what we see next, what we're anticipating is if this really is what we're thinking it is, it's going to mark up, make a higher high, higher low, and start marking up on this swing of the move. That's really what I'm seeing personally because I focus on the four phases of the market. Now, this may not be accumulating, right? This might just be dragging people in to sweep the lows, right? So that's also a possibility. But based on where we're at for today, I'm kind of seeing prices making higher high, higher lows to attack at least up into here. So based off time, right? Let's say I'm usually done by 11:15. Based off that timing, I would love to see price continue to rally up to those areas. All right. Okay. So we're just waiting on this price. Um, so yeah, the question is like, am I salty that the one contract knocked off? Somewhat, but am I grateful that I'm still up $1,000? Yeah. Right. So this is the game. This is what I'm talking about. Now we're waiting on this closure, 5 minute above 18.9, which would show us definitely signs of strength. And then we're thinking about Fibonacci retracement, right? So you have your swing high of the day to your swing low of the day, and price is returning back into the equilibrium 50%, right? So as price gets back into the area, if you see a break through the 50 and then a break of the structure of that trap candle, then there's definitely good signs that price might go higher. But if we continue to fail this 18,900 level, and our 5 minute doesn't close higher, then they could just topple over. But looking at ES, we are respecting 53.25, and on market open, we're respecting 53.29. Really nice. So I could see us definitely coming up potentially if we can 5 minute close above here into this imbalance here, right? Imbalance here, right there. So I could see us definitely coming up there if we get this 15 5 minute close with some strength. So I'm just gonna be patient and see if we get it. If we don't, it's okay. Now, if we do get that break, a 5 minute structure, I cover the position. That's just like my rule. It's not looking so great from 18.9 though. Uh, and really would like to see the most movement in the last 15 minutes or first 15 minutes of the hour. So Nvidia still catching that bid to the upside. So um, so it looks good. The 1 hours look really solid. They're about 24 minutes before they close. So I could see us definitely pushing. This is pretty good price action. So prices are still kind of what I call suppressed down. We're getting that push that we want to see on NQ. We're back above 18.9. Everything's looking really good. Now, what I want to see personally is like a strong push closer to London Open and a 5 minute close in the next 3 minutes above 18.9. That's when I'm gonna move the sell stop that I have to this wick low right here inside this accumulation. Because if price was to fail this trap or hit this level and fall down fairly quickly, I wouldn't want to accept the risk that I have on the bottom of the trade. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and just watching ES looks really good on that market open tap, and YM is just doing her own thing. So the more we continue to print above this level, the better it looks, I think, for the overall day. Really good price. So we can extend up even back to New York Open 18,980s. Me personally, I wouldn't mind pulling something or trailing my risk around those points. So we'll see what we get around by like 10:30. Hopefully the stream is over by then. Really, really beautiful plays I want to bring over though. If these do work out when it comes to the ones that we look at the most, which are going to be NQ and ES. But if you focus on that 1 hour play and how, we found the small time price action play on NQ, but you really had the best look on ES, right? Because you have the 1 hour down candle, the rise, the pullback below market open, and then you find that price capitulation during the New York session. It looked a lot better to me. But I love NQ and I have a familiarity with NQ's pricing. So that's what I personally like to stick to. Now, also, when you drop a tennis ball off the ground, it has to bounce. It has to find momentum, most likely, right? So we dropped that ball, it's hit the ground, and I would love to see at least price come above. No, what? I was just trying to cancel my order. I'd love to see price come back to previous support, right? Which is also that 50% of the swing, right? Because if they can come up and they fail this trap candle or London Open or 18,950 half level, then they could kind of reject back down before going higher. But if they can just blast through this and fill this imbalance, I could trail the risk and then manage the trade the rest of the day. So that's the goal for me as we're pushing right now. And like I said, most traders today, they don't sell it until price is getting ready to break support. So where's that level? That's under 18,940s, right? 18,950s. They're selling on the breakout. They're selling like, holy shit, I missed it, I missed it, I missed it. And they get to support and they sell. And they try to just watch it go from there. Well, thank you for your stop loss. That's how I look at it. Thank you. That's how the markets work. Really good price right there. 5 minute close, higher high above 18.9. Oof. Here comes the rally. Let's go. So we did get that 5 minute close. So pretty much if price was to come all the way back down to here, I would personally think that price was, not going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and trail right to the wick right here, possibly here. So I would anticipate that if price was to continue to hold 5 minute open, 5 minute close, if it came all the way back down, back into this area, most likely, like I said, I think it would come lower. So 15 minute open looks strong here. Right. So if that continues strong and closing above here in the next 3 minutes above 18.9, I would think that this wick is a target and 18.950 could possibly be a target. So really want to see some 15-minute strength there. We're looking pretty good on ES. If you can get that close back above 53.40 daily open. So that price isn't the best, but we are seeing good 1 hour pricing here and on the other two. So if they can hold here, I'd say this 15 and 5, then there could be a chance. But getting back close to daily open or below would be to me price not going to work out. So not really respecting 18.9. Let's see here. So the price is kind of pulling back, which we're protected here. We're fine. We're still going to be available with profit on the day for more trades if we need to. Now NQ, or excuse me, ES looks really good to me personally. That 18.900 failure is not looking good. Depending on how this next 5 minute closes, if we don't see a reaction, um, if it comes back to daily open, then I don't think that this trade would work out. But if it can hold this level and then close back above 18.9 at this 15 minutes, if this 15 minute can close strong, then there's a good chance still. I personally want to accept some risks, but I don't because I've already closed a little bit of profit for the day. So mm-mm. So they're still in that same area, market open 53.29 on ES as well. So we're just kind of having to be patient here. So 12 or 10 seconds before this 15 minute close. Then we have about 15 minutes before this hour. So if we're going to get any kind of strength, we'd want to see it here relatively quickly going into 10. Yeah, they're kind of sinking. So we'd love to see that 5 just kind of respect. I'll just kind of show you guys what my eyes are seeing. From a 5 minute perspective, I would love to see price going into basically, let's say 11:15. I would want to see price, basically getting strong right here. So I'm wanting to see basically, let me do this. I want to see basically buys presenting right there in this area here. Now, if it goes lower than this, obviously we would be out. So I want to see it hold that 5 minute candle and start to close out of that box above 18.9. So we're still not seeing any signs of weakness on ES. We're kind of just hovering above that market open. So nothing here as of right now. Price is just kind of pushing down away from 18.9. So I want to honestly put my risk right here. 48, which will be about a 10-point risk, would still put me at a profit for the day, but I'll keep it risk off for this one. Because if I need to re-enter, I'd do that and still have collected the profit for today already. But the entry is really good to a point to where I could put that risk under the order, but I'm completely fine with where it's at right now because they're kind of toppling over. So any prints on that 5, I would say that go, too much lower than this, then they're gonna run those lows. Now if they tap and go here, I will be a little salty because the 5-minute entry is really good, to be honest. And then those 1 hours aren't looking so bad, especially for ES. The location of ES's looks good. So okay, so let's see. They're gonna go. It's 5-minute candle, push away from 18.9. Let's see how this one closes inside that area. If it goes lower and slips daily, I think they might go a little bit lower. 18.820s. Mhm. Nvidia still at 1040, so I mean it's still showing strength there. Um, Let me see where 55 would be, or 45, excuse me. 45 would be this low, so if they held this 15.5 structure, I'd be risking X amount of dollars, 200. Nah, I'll just leave it. They slip it, they slip it. I'll find a new entry. Mhm. So that came back and hit me break even, which is fine. And if they slip lower to 18.820s, so this is where it's going to come down to. I will be watching this area closely because the entry was so good on that 5-minute, I would say, that you really want that stop to be on the outside of that range. But the way that the price is starting to push, um, I don't like it as much. But like I said, you would, if your stops here, let's see if price starts to build up at daily open, um, with some 5-minute strength. Because if so, then I may re-enter to attack, right? Because I personally I had a pretty solid location entry and my stop could stay there. But I just wanted to make sure to secure the trade. I don't want to just give up the trade for no reason. And then the 1 hours, I do think they could fall a little bit lower into the 18.8, 18.820s first. So we'll see. So let's see if we can get this gap fill and then see how price, like in the 18.820s, I think we may have another chance to add another position. As you can see, they're holding this level though, right? They're holding this level for sure. Seems like right now. So let's watch how this 1 hour closes. If this 1 hour can close bear, I think we could extend down on the range of the day into the 4 hour open, which is 18,820s. Nvidia still screaming up to the upside right now, so it's 1045 on there. And so for me personally, like I said, with one contract left on this, if I did, I would personally, if I, the way it was setting up, I wouldn't mind having the risk at that low, but it's the location of where we're at on the 15 and 1 hour, right? We still have quite a room to go from the previous day low. So that's why I'm also looking at like this level as a key level, as an area of where we might see the real bounce after the gap fill. And like I said, there's just people who have pressed the sell button. So this may go into, the PM session today, right? So if I don't see anything when I'm taking my notes at like 11:15, I may look around like noon, like 1 o'clock, possible, for, what's happening in that PM session, or if they're, because you could see a bounce play, after prices, falls off a cliff at New York like this. Okay, so that 5 minute is making lower lows, so we're focused on 18.8 and seeing if we get the bounce there. Now, the rest of the price action to that previous day low is pretty choppy. Inside of here, what happened in that PM session when, the end of the day, this is just some crazy candles. So we'll see. They failed that level on 53.25 on ES. So for me, it's just kind of, let me look at that 4 hour really quick. I really like the 4 hour here. So I just want to show this really quick for the recording purposes. We're coming into the open of that last down candle, which is going to be 18,820. If you want to be really exact, it's 18,823. So price could basically fall off, come right here, and then I'd be looking for price to bounce somewhere up that area. So we'll be watching that closely here, which that's what we're getting. And this is the right time for this to be doing this. Okay. So I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna be, looking for an entry. Possibly they did just make a new lower low at the 5, so I would need a signal before I would decide to get in. So I'd like to see price rally back above daily, maybe tap this candle, and I could use it, as a point of reference. But the closer we get to whole level and the 20 levels are going to be the best. So I want to definitely see a signal. I'm going to move this out of the way. ES just failed the 53.25 level. So we'll see if we get the bounce at the whole level here. I think the previous day low could happen, but this bounce at 18.8 and alignment with the 4 hour could be interesting. So watching that 5 minute signal here. Really nice. And so I can move this line because this was just me trying to evaluate that area earlier. So and YM is just going crazy. 39.5 right now. And so that wick low at 39.4 is looking a lot more like they want that. 39.5. We just broke that. So 39.4 would be that next level on YM here. 39.4. Okay, so they break 39.4, and then we go down and hit these wicks on 4 hour on ES. We'll see, you know. Nothing yet. Those 4 hours are pretty deathly. I will say that. And those dailies are the best daily to me, other than YM, is going to be next with ES. I mean, that was a beautiful price action, how that presented itself. Um, and so let's see where we're at here. We've pushed down into those levels that I like. So we're at that next whole level, which is 18.8. So we're going to focus on that really quick. Okay. So this is perfect right here. What we're seeing, price capitulating down into the area. So now it's like, you know, as this 5 minute makes a low, I'll watch for signals here with this 5 minute close. So me personally, I know that 5 minute closes usually get the reaction. I personally want to be ready going into that last minute. So I already know that my stop is going to be 18,802. And I want to see price push away and pull back. 802. All right. And then our targets would be like New York Open. 18. Let's just say 19, and then we can move it from there. Okay. And then we want to do 2 contracts if they're gonna get in. And now we want to see this present this signal. We don't want to just take the trade or anything like that, right? So we can do this here. Kind of move this over here. Like that. So I can see it and I can still see this. So I need to be able to see both. Okay. Okay. So just being patient here. And so now what I want to see is signs, something that would show me to attack back up to these levels, right? 18,920s. Because if I enter with 2 contracts, my goal is to, as soon as it breaks 15.5 structure, I could probably partial out another one, go break even on my other entry. So, but if we don't get anything that shows that, then I'll still wait for like 18,700 as well. I'm not going to force my way into the market or anything like that. 18,700. But we're still just framing up areas in case. Okay. So this type of situation here, 1802. You know, if you like this area here being at 10, that 5 minute close, anything that comes back down here in this at this minute close, I'd probably take it. And I like how that 5 minute starting to look. And I like where we're at now opposed to where we were a little bit earlier. So this is good. And then, like I said, if I can see it pull back kind of into this area, I'd be playing the 50% of the 5 minute candle, which is fine. I like those type of trades. So you would need that pullback into this area. You're in the 5 minute candle still, but I'd like to see a pullback and fill of the expansions, because that risk is way too much, right? So that was a quick 30-point move. That was nice. But again, the same kind of response on ES right now. So we'll see here. Now, if it just takes off, cool. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh damn, I missed, you know. What I've got to do is I just got to wait for price to give me that chance. So that 5 minute play might play out better using the 1802 level. And so now I just want to know where that 20 level is and see if when, 2 minutes or 3 minutes before 5 minute close, if this closes and then starts to kind of travel back down, I would like to take that off the 33s. Stop loss could be like 808s, but now if I hesitated, it seems like here too, I'm already up for the day, so I'm not gonna like force myself into it. But I do like how ES where it looks on that 1 hour and where we're at as of the gap fill now. So I'm just being patient here. ES finding some strength as well as YM from that 39.5. So just watching this here, we're about 50% of that 15-minute candle. So we want to see that push back down on a 5 and touching into that open before we would want to enter this trade personally. So I do want to see where it's going to close. So what's the open on this candle here? The open is 18,834 and a quarter. 18,8. Is that right? Let me see that again. 18,834. Yes. So, with that taken off, I'd like to see this inefficiency filled at least around the 20 level. 50% of the 5-minute down candle would be 18,820. So maybe shouldn't have hesitated on when it was already at that 5-minute. But a lot of times when I take that trade, it'll go and come back, and then it makes me have to mitigate out of the position or something. So let's continue to watch and be understanding here. ES really good strength. Looks like on that 15 out there dumping people at the 53.25 level. So this first 5-minute close is 10. Okay, so let's see, between 10:05 to 10:10, we can find that area. Maybe I reduce the risk down a little bit here. I wanted that tap of that open exactly though. So that tap was what? 18,834. I want it to be either in the candle or 50%. Most likely 50% would be the best. Okay. They're rejecting that 53.25 level on ES, so they're not really showing too much strength. So as it pushes down, that's the better spot, I would think. And then the candle closure here, I think, will be key. So they might just tap that open and go. Honestly, I'm not gonna like into it. You know what I mean? If I missed it, I missed it. Um, but that does look pretty good, and the way ES is, playing off of that area as well. So that could have been it right there. But the markets usually don't leave without you. They'll do a little something and come back, give you a chance sometimes. So still a lot of inefficiency open, I would say, between 18,820, 18,830. So if that's the takeoff moment, then it is, I didn't personally like the risk with one contract on that. So we'll see here. Not a bad trade though, honestly. I really like the area. It'd be good for the recording to kind of go back and see. Um, but that definitely took off from that candle that we were referencing after the engulfing. So that was the signal, and then playing. You're aggressive if you play the open. You're conservative if you're playing the 50% of the candle. And so price is already up 60 points from that. I mean, that's a great play. Unfortunately, damn. Let's see here. I like the prices there. Like I said, they're already kind of pushing up fairly quickly there. And that 50%, if you're measuring, the 15-minute candle to make sure your location of your trade, that 50% area was right here, right on that 5-minute open, pretty much. So, if you got in that area, you've got a really good setup on your hands. So yeah, we'll see. And then ES really, really good bounce off that 53.20 level, which is, what we'd like to see. We also have YM at 39.520s showing the same, type of price action. So, it's kind of like, damn, they're already back above daily open. So, to me, it'd be a little bit more difficult to find a setup here. Because if you take it, you have your signal. This was the signal. That was it. That was the chance right there off that level. So ES right at market open again as well. So they might have just, like I said, they might have just wanted that gap fill because I mean prices basically went, damn, prices already went almost 50, 60 points just from that tap. So that might be it. So they're flying those prices at the right time too. We're still good for the day though, so that's fine. Um, Now if you get a 15-minute engulfing of this one candle, you're gonna start seeing price definitely go bullish. And as price dips below daily open, there could be potentials to attack, but um, I would say that 5-minute transition at the right time down there was so perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for, honestly. Kind of frame it up like this since we can't really. Was looking something like this, and then that stop loss to that low. What was that? Was that 20? A 20 ball? It was a 30 ball. So it just didn't fit my game, right? Now you could use the body closures. It's 26. It still doesn't really fit it. So more of a one contract type of trade. I think that's where I kind of hesitated. I was like, oh, do I want to use two contracts here? And I'm like, well, not for 30 points, right? 4 times 3 is 12. I don't want to risk 1,200 on one trade. Um, that's not the goal for me. So, but okay, so we got that half level mark. We have daily open mark. So we'll see how price presents. I mean, it was pretty aggressive there. I'm gonna move this out of the way because I forgot exactly why I put it there. And ES looks really good. It engulfed that 15-minute candle. It's printing back above market open and 53.25. So it's about a 15-point risk to the lows from where price is currently at right now. Let me look at this from a short position perspective. All right, I was wanting to short this. I would want to wait. So let's see if price possibly can reach back below daily open. I could possibly frame something up off of that. But by 10:15, if we don't really just see something, I'll probably just go ahead and flip to another account. And for the streaming purposes in the this account that I'm tracking for the videos, then I will just be back for tomorrow. But that way we can get out of here with a small win from that partial. Lower low, lower high, lower low. How that 15 is printing. And so let's see how this 5 minutes going to print. Because if I do enter a trade like this, I would want this to be my risk. So 18, 832s, like so whatever the exact low on this candle is, which is 18, 832.50. So you know, I just want to see how it's gonna play around daily open here. Because to me, this just looks like they're still gonna want to rally the prices. Nvidia, $1,000, 1,042 per share. So still holding strength. This part of New York, not really showing too much weakness. So wow, if I was to show ES's price too on that 5 minute, it was really nice. I mean, the low was 53.16. Your open entry of that 5 minute down candle was 53.22. So it's that as a really that would have been a really good setup to see it print back above daily open, for example. So kind of just show it right here. So the way price came, it closed right at 10 engulfing and then taps and goes. So you put your entry in that 5 minute open, put your stop 5 points to the bottom, which is perfect. And then your targets are perfect. How that could be. So yeah, pretty good setups there, I would say. So 5 minute close loading, unless it's below daily open, I'm good. They continue higher, they just continue higher. So but, so now we actually have a 15-minute candle that we're looking at, which is this to this. So 50% of that head and shoulders pattern would be around 18,850. So price can go below New York, below daily, and show a little bit of reaction. I may attempt to play this position with my stop at the low of the market. I'll be looking around like 10:30 possibly, but if price just rallies up before that, then no, because like I said, if you look at 15-minute ES, this is looking a lot better of a trade if you were to take it right here, put your stop at the low for like, what is that? Too many points for me. But that would have been a pretty good setup as well. And playing this 15-minute open, I mean, you're going to have to put a 20-point risk on it. So personally, I just wasn't seeing it, I guess. But I really like how ES looks on that 15 right now, especially with this how they just destroyed the price earlier. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute this until 10:30. Whatever happens until then, and those 5 minute closes, that's what I'm gonna focus on. And those last 15 minutes of 10 going into 11. If there's an opportunity, then I'll take it. But as of right now, I'm gonna let the market do what it does. So I'll be back. So if you're watching the recording, just even if you're any for other parts of it as well, we can always speed up the speed to 1.5 to kind of slow down my monotone talking. So I'll be back and closer to 10:30. So coming into this 10:25 5 minute close, we are still seeing quite a bit of strength with this 5 minute getting ready to close the 10:30 15 minute candle. So same thing with ES. I just want to show this as well. ES is playing that 15 minute level really nice. Really good 5 minute play on the downside, right? And Gulf, Signal, Go. So those are all pretty good, how they're printing out. But what we'll look at is, with this inefficiency here at daily open, is will price possibly come back down, right? And do something like this and scare people to give us the signal again to then rally prices back above here, attacking London Open, possibly attacking New York. Now, if price just continues to do what we're seeing here already and pushes on through, as it breaks the new level, then I would maybe look for more of an inefficiency fill off the whole level to then possibly attack high of day, right? But if it, just depends on really what it does and how it prints going into 10:30 and then those last 15 minutes of the hour. So let me make sure we're on NQ here. But ES looks really good, and just the price action overall on the 15. After they just destroyed those lows, you gotta be on point for that signal. So just being patient here though. But man, let me look at this. I'm just gonna show this again. ES looks so good off that 15. Looks so good. So we'll see. So to me, guys, coming in, this is 10:30, that 15-minute close. So higher close, higher open, higher close. So 10:15 and 10:30, we're still showing signs of strength. And then this one's opening very bullish. So the only inefficiency that we have to the end of the day is what you can see here on the five. So it's just like the likelihood of them to not, you know, they could come back to this area, I would say, potentially, and give another opportunity. But if they don't, then they're going to continue this down lower. All right, so they come back down to that area possibly, but okay. So I'll be back at 10:45. If we don't see anything going into the close of 11, we'll just leave this with a small win for today and go from there. Okay, so going into the last 15 minutes of this hour, I mean, pretty much, I mean, all we've really had is from that, 5 minute signal that we were looking for, price coming down and coming back and touching that open and rallying up. We've had the 15-minute closure higher, showing that sign of strength. Because if you look at the day and you look at the fib retracement of today, so this is the high of day to the low. We are currently getting our printing above the 50% of the swing, right? So as we attack point of interest, London Open, 18,950 half level, you got to understand that most traders at New York Open, no one just sells that position and gets it. Everyone's usually waiting for some kind of pullback. So if they sold, they didn't sell the New York right on the dot because there was really, if you go back on smaller time frames, not a way to do it unless you're just pressing the button at that time. You look at the lows of London, which were here, which were equal. Well, when most people do is they sell at the level of support. So a lot of people probably sold the good ones, I would say, sold 18,950, and the people who are a little late to just basically and they just want to play closer to support are the ones who sold 18,943. So right after London Open, they're in their head, they're like, it's going lower, I'm just gonna sell it. And price goes down very quickly. Now, here's the whole key to this position is if they sell like that, why is the market retracing back up exactly to that spot and to those points of interest? Because the algo knows inside this huge down candle that was created here at New York Open that people, as they sell down, they cover their positions halfway. So they start putting their positions and their stop losses in the 50% of this imbalance here on the 15. So as we go out throughout the rest of the day, pretty much what I can see since they've already, closing here on the 5, unless they pull back into this area here to then go higher, then I just see price continuing up. I'll take the small win from the initial move that I took and look to trade another day. But this was still a really great day when you look at, this the speculation across the board. Because like I said, I learned a lot today that, I was being patient for my setup here on the 1 minute. So I can kind of give an example. When I seen the price in the first minute, 8:30 to 8:31, close lower low, if I'm going to take a trade like that, knowing that I'm going to attack this London low, I'm looking for price to retrace back up into that candle or, some kind of setup with that New York Open tap, right? Some kind of rejection that gives me a chance. But at this point, everyone panics, right? Sell off, next candle, 8:31 to 8:32. You drop from 1870, 1850. That's 20 handles in just 1 minute, right? So it's capitulating. People are panicking. And then, like I said, if you look at the 5, this was 8:30 to 8:35. So if you go study that 1 minute and you look at 35, which is like right here, right? You're looking at this is when people start, it makes that first low, just completely gaps like that, and they start to sell this psychological half level, but it's in this location on the 15 and 5. Right. So they see that first break and they're like, holy shit, like they missed all that. And that first pull back up, they're just going to press the sell button and pretty much put their stop at the high of day or back at New York Open, which there's nothing wrong with that. But it's just understanding how you can capitalize back on that move in this 5 minute capitulation move to the downside. And then the timing of this, right? The last 15 minutes of 9 and the first 15 minutes of 10. That's exactly when these transitions like to happen. So, I'm gonna leave it at that for today for the recording. Like I said, just came out here with a small win today, but learned a lot. So that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. We'll be here. Maybe I might record something tomorrow. We'll see. I'll be going to Oklahoma, so we'll see. But with that being said, you guys have a good rest of your day. Trade safe.